I don't think we make enough of that as an industry. He's the best there's ever been.
90 seconds to go till half-time. Sets it. Oh, Donald! Massive fly from Jeremy Howe. Oh! You got the highest flying Howe. Oh! Jeremy Howe with an unbelievable grab. By some territory, Jeremy Howe. Another curler.
Even from the position he jumped from, if you're watching a normal position, there's no way he could get up that high, but he just does.
That's the mark of the decade.
Hands down the biggest mark I've ever seen. I was lucky enough to see it when he was here, see him take a couple of marks of the year, and that was easily the best if you ask me.
The radio calls of those marks is so fantastic. Jordan Lewis, Jack Revo, welcome.
How are we?
Hey, boys.
We have one real overreaction left. Jeremy Howe is the best mark of all time.
I think it's real. I think that's the best mark I've seen. And you spoke about it before. The body of work, the amount of marks that he's taken that could have been contenders for Mark of the Year, I think far beats anyone else.
I think he's like high 20s in terms of Mark of the Week nominations. So the body of work he's putting together is pretty impressive. I always look at the one at the club. Disco Roach took an absolute belter.
Spoke about that earlier.
Took a belter, but I only see the still picture. But he is one of the greatest exponents of the high mark.
Mark Stewart took that photo in the paper today, and I know it's great to see it happen. But the beauty of the image is you stop and you just stare at it.
Yeah.
And you look at the crowd. You look at it's just a fantastic image. And how many marks of the week have you taken, Jack?
Oh yeah, that's me.
A couple of digits, I reckon. I got
Oh,
6
have
in
you
1
really?
year. Yeah. Yeah, you seem surprised.
I haven't seen you.
They don't call me Jumping Jack for no reason.
Well, they don't call him Jumping Jordan, do they?
Why is it the forward remember every single thing?
Jumping punch
How many
Jordan,
goals,
isn't
how many... That's right. But it was very clever by the Herald Sun. And
It was.
I'm not saying that because you're here. I was in a cafe this morning and the amount of people that walk in and try and turn their head sideways and trying to work out what was going on, it was brilliant.
It was a
All right,
great
what
day.
was the day like?
Yeah, it was good, and it had a bigger meaning than the 4 points were important. But to run out and to see the slide out there and to see it all happening was fantastic. And yeah, it was a massive crowd, 70,000 people, massive crowd, and to see Neil after the game with a smile on his face made it all worthwhile.
Jack Watt said today it might have been the best one he's played in. You've won premierships, but what did it mean to you to play in a game like this?
There was a lot on the line. I think if we had lost that game, we sit outside the 8 by a game. So that was huge for us. And I mean, the win over in Adelaide was significant for a lot of reasons. But we've got a lot of pressure on us in terms of expectations and from supporters, from coaching staff, from players. And I think we delivered on the weekend.
Who's Jack Watts? You know, tell me if this is true or not. I don't know if you've heard this, Jack or Jared, that you didn't ride Jack hard, but you've been a bit of a constant in his ear. I don't know if that's true or not, just helping him. How pleased yesterday when the moment, and you've had players at Hawthorn grab moments, and Jack grabbed that moment and said, I'll take responsibility here. How did that make you feel?
Yeah, Jack's a funny one. He would be probably the most scrutinised player that I've ever seen, and a lot of it's been really harsh stuff written about him, and I've never seen a more resilient guy. So when a game unfolds like that and he has his chance to seal the game, was brilliant. He's cool under pressure, but he comes into the club every single day with a smile on his face. After all that he's been through, no one probably deserves that moment more than him.
Have you been of the view that... Have you tried to drive him to be more than he has been previously?
No, not necessarily. I think he came off a really good year last year, and that was off the back of a really good pre-season and a really big body of work. So he missed the first part of the season, the JLT series and the season, and he's put in a lot of work since. So he's getting just reward for what he's put in so far.
Yeah, Jack, you said you wanted to talk to Jordan about his game yesterday.
Oh, I was just flicking through. I had him as my captain and the Supercoach.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
How many did you get?
34 points.
I was hoping they ran out of print by the time they printed the old bottom bit. So
I did get a little laugh out of it. No, you did too, so...
I think we've cut your highlights.
Yeah,
no, there they are.
There they are. That's about it.
Hang on. This is a good mark. This is a good handball.
Oh, it's a nice handball.
Yeah, it's not too often you get...
Oh, that's a free kick, isn't it?
Not much of the ball. I think the crowd gave it to me at that stage. It's right near the Collingwood cheer squad.
I love you, Jordan, because you talk about being unemotional in footy. And we're watching, we're taking the PISS out of you, but you're just laughing.
I want to play better, and we went through it today, and I had a bad game. There's no doubt about it, but I think I can sit here and say I haven't had too many like that. And
no, that's fair.
I mean, the proud person I am, I'd be bouncing back this week in a big way.
So when you look at the kids, right, if you can tell, half-time coming, I was really angry. Everyone was angry. Where are you? What's going on in your midfield? Then the turnaround, and a lot of the kids, right, and then Petrarca's won. We'll get to Petrarca in a second. Oliver, Jack Viney's last quarter was huge. Everyone just started getting into their groove. Then Petrarca arrives. It doesn't take over the game, but contributes massively. We've asked you about him before. Is he continuing to elevate himself in your eyes? Where's the ceiling, mate?
Yeah, I think with these kids, I mean, Viney's a bit older than the other two, but there is no ceiling, and our biggest thing with them is, and it's what every coach preaches to their young kids, is we just expect just to play your role every week, and there's going to be moments like there was on the weekend where you need to capitalise on the opportunities, and Petrarca was one. He had some unbelievable plays in the second half that really contributed to the win. Oliver, Viney, and I think this week it was our younger guys stepping up.
Salem was really solid too.
Salem came back from a week off and had a really good third term, fourth term. So that's where your improvement comes from. The older guys, you know what you're going to get, but it's consistency with the younger guys that was huge for us.
You've been in the territory,
Yep.
Jack, and you've brought some vision for us to share.
Yeah, no, went up to the Tiwi Islands, up to where Daniel Rioli's from. So
kangaroo?
No, we had some wallaby while we were up there, some buffalo as well.
Turtle?
No turtle. Went fishing for a bit too, so it was bit of fun. Good to get away, good to get out of Melbourne. It was pretty cold down here, I think, so...
yeah, stubby in your head.
Yeah, rock star vision there. That's amazing. I think it's probably one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had, just to head to a place that's 4,000 kilometres away from Melbourne, where you think it's pretty isolated, and to get off an aeroplane and have kids know your name.
What are you eating there?
Bit of mangrove jack there. So it was cooked on the beach. We were playing in the water there, actually, and then we saw a big log, or what we thought was a log, out on a sandbar. It turned out to be a 4.5 metre croc that we drove out to. So
that'd be funny. Out, Rewells.
Yeah, so I reckon this is my favourite moment out of the whole trip. It's sort of a bit of a Forrest Gump moment here. We ran through the town, Daniel's hometown there, and then these kids just started running out of the houses and joining onto the back of us there, and they were all sprinting up, and then we had a bit of a running session up there. They missed the goal that I kicked in front of the local pub there, which was, but it was one of the most, I suppose, humbling experiences I've ever had. It was really, really interesting to get up there and see where Daniel had come from. I learned a lot about his culture and got to spend some time with his parents and his cousins and his uncles, and they're an amazing little community on Melville Island. There's about 900 people on Melville, and I think per capita they're probably the biggest contributor to AFL footy. They've got two pretty good little players in terms of Daniel and Cyril, and then Bathurst has McDonald, Tip and Woody. So a really great experience, and we weren't up there just for the holiday. We went up as a part of the club's reconciliation plan, which is run by AG Coombs, one of the major sponsors, and took some people up from there, and we really just learned about Indigenous culture, and certainly with Dreamtime at the G being a big part of our club. It was a great experience.
Yeah, you want to see happiness with kids who haven't got much? That's brilliant. Cyril took us to the Tiwi Islands, and these kids haven't got hardly anything, but the smiles on their faces, unbelievable.
There's some great footage of the kids. We took our cameraman from the club, Matt Kalita, and he took all the footage and he's putting a package together for the club and for AG Coombs, and I think we saw some footage there, but the kids loved the camera. They thought that was fascinating, that they were standing there and they'd be filming each other, and it was it was really good, really, really good.
You can tell how you're just so excited, mate.
Yeah, well, we were lucky. There was 4 of us that went, plus Daniel, so myself, Jaden Short, Dylan Grimes and Shane Edwards. Yeah, and I said to Russell, who's the owner of AG Coombs, who came with us, is it's not very often that corporates can have an impact on a football club. Like, they're great financial support, but to have a true impact and taking us up there, I think it's really strengthened our group. It gives us a greater understanding of where Daniel's come from. It is completely different, and you would have seen when you went up there with Cyril how different culture is, and it's right on our doorstep. And I can safely say to anyone that wants to go up to Darwin or the Tiwi Islands, I could endorse it more.
Good on you. While you're away, the Swans came back to form.
Yeah, they did. They played some pretty good footy. We did get some TV footage while we were up there, so watched them. But they're certainly playing some pretty good footy, and they come down here after a couple of wins with some confidence and some momentum. So for us, it's going to be really important that we hit the ground running coming off the break. The bye's really refreshed the group. We've trained really well. I think we took the bye at the right time early on in the week, and then we've been back at training since Friday. So just excited to get back out there and get back out playing footy. Just
one of the big takeouts out of this game was the attention to detail the Swans paid to Jason Johannesson. Shut him down entirely, the run out of half back. Do you imagine that that's something in your planning that Melbourne would look at?
Oh, no doubt you've got to be aware of a player like that. I think it was maybe 2 or 3 years ago where tagging the half-back, I mean, I tagged Heath Shaw one stage because they were the most potent and dangerous players in the game. Then it's sort of gone back to tagging midfielders. And maybe we saw on the weekend where a player that's a running half-back that creates so much for a side is something to look at.
How'd you go? Yeah. How'd you go on Heath Shaw?
Kick 6.
Okay.
I actually kicked 5, but you always have one on.
Yeah, you did kick 5. It's really funny, you know, people identifying Jason Johannesson. I'm sure sitting here looking at Jaden Hunt saying, right, we're going to stop this kid because he's a joy to watch. He must be fantastic.
Yeah, he's lightning quick. And the thing that's probably impressed me most about him is he's a competitor. I think I was talking to him now. He came to the club at 69 kilos. He's now around 86, 87, so powerful.
You spoke about more umpires on the field last week. This week's topic is the runners on the field. Is Nick Maxwell is the centre of some debate. It's just a procedural issue. He'll either get a letter telling him to get off the field or the smallest of fines. But broadly speaking, what do you think of the runners' involvement?
Well, I think any ex-footballer that becomes a runner, you know exactly where you're standing and why you're standing there. So,
do you hear them?
No, you never really hear them, because you're so focused on what you want. But that's a smart positioning. I mean, no GWS player has to position himself there. The space is already taken up.
I think the rules are that you actually can't be on the ground post a goal being kicked. So a lot of those ones there are from kick-out. So if
you can't be inside the 50-metre either.
I don't think you can be on the ground once. If a goal's been kicked and the restart bounce, you actually can't be on the ground as a runner. So if they go through for a goal, where does that leave him? So
he runs off.
I reckon you just look at that there. You've got 4 umpires standing in the middle of the corridor. You want the game to go a bit quicker. I wouldn't be standing in the space where the most attacking space.
All right, you've got fantasastic matches coming up, so good luck. And next Tuesday will be a good chat in the aftermath of them.
I'm looking forward to it.
Jack Revolt and Jordan Lewis with us on AFL 360.
No, he'll bounce back this week. Come on, Jordy.
AFLW next and Richmond's ambitions there, but let's meet the latest Rising Star nominee.